everyone, welcome back to another one of my dissection videos. My name is Saanvi and I will be dissecting a grasshopper. The tools you will need for this dissection are a grasshopper, which is in this container, something to dissect the grasshopper on, scissors, forceps, and a probe. And I'm going to be using this tool as my probe. So first, I'm going to take my grasshopper out of the container. Just gonna dry it a bit on this tissue. Okay. So, before we begin the dissection, let me give you some information on this interesting insect. The grasshopper is an arthropod. The arthropod is an invertebrate animal that has an exoskeleton, segmented body, and paired appendages. Appendages are things like the antenna over here and the legs, like over here. The grasshopper has three main body regions: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. So you can see here the part that I'm flexing. This is the head. This is the thorax, and the rest is the abdomen. If you observe this grasshopper closely, you can see spikes and hooks on its legs. And these spikes or hooks are used to grab on to vegetation. This helps them travel easily. This part of the leg over here is called the tibia, and humans also have the tibia. With that background information, let's start dissecting the grasshopper. And before we even begin that, there's one thing that I missed. Grasshoppers have two genders, males and females. And there's a common feature that you can easily distinguish. The female has an ovipositor, like this large opening over here. And the ovipositor is used to dig in the dirt and lay eggs. The male doesn't have an ovipositor because it does not lay eggs. Okay, now with that said, we are going to move on to the dissection of the grasshopper. The first thing you are going to do is remove the legs. To remove the legs, you are going to twist it. You're going to twist it right off. And this is so that you don't damage any internal organs. I'm going to be twisting the legs off. And you can see that there's an orangish pinkish thing that is coming off when taking the legs off, and this is nothing but the skeletal muscle. So you have to gently twist, making sure that you don't ruin any organs inside. Okay, with the legs removed, the next thing we're going to take off are the wings. So in the front, there's a large and thick wing called the forewing. And this wing is used to glide and protects the wing underneath it. So we're going to remove this wing. Once again, twist it and pull. Make sure you pull very gently. Twist, pull. Next, underneath the forewing, you're going to see a smaller and more thinner wing. And this helps the grasshopper fly. Just gonna fan it out over here. This wing allows the grasshopper to fly, and that's why it's nice and thin. You can't use the forewing to fly because it's far too big and heavy. So we are going to do the same to this thinner wing. We're going to twist it and pull. Twist and pull. And underneath the wings of the grasshopper, you're going to see a structure. And that is right over here, right near the area that I am circling. And this circular structure is called the tympanic membrane or the tympanum. And it is also on the other side. So, once again, the forewing is used to glide and protects the wing underneath it. And this smaller and more thinner wing is used to actually fly. Okay, so the tympanic membrane or tympanum is nothing but the grasshopper's eardrum. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to start cutting the grasshopper's exoskeleton from posterior to anterior. Posterior is the anus and anterior is the head. I'm gonna make a small cut at the anus. And when you're cutting through the exoskeleton, you have to make small and shallow cuts. And this is so that you don't damage any of the organs inside of the grasshopper. So I cut through the abdomen, entering the thorax. Okay, I'm just gonna move my tools out of the way so I can pin it down. So I'm going to gently open it up. Oh wow, and you see all of these organs inside. So, I'm going to take a pin. I'm just going to pin it over here. All right. Okay. Whenever pinning the grasshopper, you have to make sure that you put it at an angle so your hands have space to work. Okay. Okay, and now it is time to go over the anatomy of the grasshopper. So I'm taking my probe. So this structure over here is really pouchy. So I'm pushing my probe on it and it's very extendable. So this is called the pouch. The pouch is the organ that stores all of the grasshopper's food, which is why it has to extend. Next is the stomach. And this is very muscular. I'm pushing down on it and it's just pushing back up. So this is the crop, since it's very extendable and stores all the grasshopper's food. And this is the stomach. It's very muscular. So the stomach is where all of the food is grinded. And in between the stomach and the crop are little flaps of skin over here called gastric ceca. So if you look over here, look at my probe, just lifting up this flap of skin. And this is the gastric ceca. It is in between the crop and the stomach. And if you look over here, you can see small yellowish fibers going from the body of the grasshopper to the exoskeleton. And these fibers are called tracheal tubes. Tracheal tubes help in respiration. They keep on branching and branching out through the grasshopper's body until it delivers gases to every single cell. Next, there are some hair-like structures on the intestine, and the intestine is like a small tube at the end. There are small hair-like structures over here. I don't think the camera can spot it, but they're there. And these small hair-like structures are called Malpighian tubules. And these are basically kidneys. They remove metabolic waste. So they take the metabolic waste and they put it in the intestine or in the stomach. And the metabolic waste is removed with the digestive waste. So in the intestine is where the enzymes absorb all the nutrients and distribute them to different parts of the body. The undigested food goes down the intestine and is excreted through the anus. So, I'm going to slowly move the organs out of the way to try and look for a nerve cord. And if you see a nerve cord, you can only see it if it's like a really well-preserved specimen. So I'm going to just scoot this out of the way. And it doesn't look like there's a nerve cord in this grasshopper, but that's all right. So the grasshopper dissection is finally completed. And just to review, this is the crop, stores all the food of the grasshopper. This is the stomach, it's nice and muscular. And this is where all the food is grinded up. Then is the intestine, which then is the undigested food is excreted through the anus. And in between the stomach and the crop are gastric ceca. And that'll be all for the grasshopper dissection. Please smash that like button and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!